Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman, Dr. James Nave. Commissioners, Nat Carasali, Luther Mack, Crispin Rivera, and Dr. Elias Ghanem. Executive Director, Mark Ratner. Lead physician, Dr. Flip Homansky. Ringside physicians, Dr. James Wishgame and Dr. Robert Boy. Timekeepers are Al Bisick and Mike Lachella. This contest is also sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation. President, Robert W. Lee. Supervisor for the IBF is Alvin Goodman. The three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Chuck Jampa, Keith McDonald, and Jerry Roth. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the world's largest hotel, casino, and theme park, the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trimmed with yellow. He weighs 221 pounds and brings an excellent professional record of 21 victories, only one loss, and he has 10 KOs to his credit tonight. He enters this ring inspired by two great German champions. One, here with him tonight, reigning light heavyweight world champion Henry Mosca. The other, watching television 7,000 miles away in Germany, the 89-year-old living legend, former heavyweight champion Max Schmeling. Tonight, this young challenger plans to follow their lead. Meine Damen und Herren, von Frankfurt oder Deutschland, Axel Schultz. And his opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red and blue, weighing 256 pounds and fighting out of Houston, Texas. In 1968, he captured Olympic gold. And as a professional, his record stands at 73 victories, including 68 knockouts against 4 defeats. He became world champion in 1973. He retired in 1977. But after a decade of inactivity, he returned to the ring with a mission, a quest to recapture the heavyweight title. And on November 5th of last year, he defied the odds. He defied history. And at the age of 45, he defied Father Time. When at 2 minutes, 10 seconds of the 10th round, the impossible dream became reality. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the heavyweight champion of the world, Big George
Axel. All right, Axel, George, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I won a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
Max Schmeling won the championship 65 years ago. He won it, and the only man in history to win it in this fashion, on a foul from Jack Sharkey. So that's another way that the challenger can become the champion tonight, Gil.
I don't think that referee Joe Cortez, no matter what George Foreman does, he's not going to disqualify him on a foul.
We might be more likely to see the paraglider.
Well, the one thing to watch with the opponent now is the fact that he throws that right-hand lead. And if he's effective with that punch, and he can land quite a few of them, we might start seeing some swelling or or a cut over George's left eye. And I would say that's about his only shot.
He doesn't often work in behind a jab, though. He's unconventional in that sense, and his critics say that while he does throw the right-hand lead, he has a tendency to slap with it.
Well, his right-hand lead, there it was again right away. Right-hand lead is about as strong as somebody else's jab. It's not a big punch, but he throws it often.
Schultz wobbling backward after one early Foreman blow. George off to the predictable, relatively slow start.
Get him out.
The one thing George should be doing, he should be snapping that left jab out to see if Schultz can handle the jab.
Get the hands out, though. Get the hands out of there.
And you'll also notice that Schultz keeps his hands very, very high, which means he can be susceptible to those clubbing body shots that George can't throw.
And when he does go on the attack, Gil, he's got a habit of winging his punches out wide, and they're few better at coming straight up the middle on you than Big George.
That's right.
Get those outside. Come on, get him out.
Foreman kind of slapping with the jab himself to start off here. Schultz gets in a right hand. Cortez tells Schultz not to hold behind the head while he hits.
But again, George is stalking him, but he's not pushing out that left jab. And this is the most that I've seen Schultz move in the ring in all the tapes that I watch. At least he is moving around. There's the right hand lead again.
George blocking many of these blows with his gloves. Schultz, the busier of the two fighters so far in round number one.
And as we speculated earlier, he is trying to fight him the way Tommy Morrison did, engaging him only on his terms, in and out.
Foreman with a hard left to the body. Schultz said that he carefully studied the tapes of the Tommy Morrison and Evander Holyfield fights, and that he knew he'd have to change his own style to do well here tonight.
And there's those clubbing right hand by George Foreman to the body.
Get those outside. Get out.
Combination to punctuate the first round for Axel Schultz. And as we go to Schultz's corner, our German interpreter there is Juan Acosta.
You have to outbox him. You have to be calm. Be calm. Okay, be calm. You have to breathe.
Yeah, you see? Thank you. I know that.
Jab's everything. Jab is everything.
All right, seconds out. Let's get that stool out of there.
Reach for him.
George has been faced by previously aggressive fighters who turned into boxers and runners before. He has to know what he wants to do against that tactic.
Well, again, the one thing, a 46-year-old guy, you know, that skin don't hold up as well. I remember the Alex Stewart fight, and if Schultz can keep landing that quick right hand, as he did a few times in the first round, they're going to have to start worrying about the swelling over George's eye.
Because he already seems to have an abrasion under the left eye.
Get him out of there.
And again, Schultz is showing me a better jab. That right hand lead again. We're going to see a lot of that tonight. And he's showing me a better jab than he's shown me in any of the tapes that I watched.
If anything, he looks like a more comfortable fighter here against the huge Foreman than he did against the willowy Akinwande, who seemingly couldn't hurt him.
Akinwande was a very awkward guy to fight, a big, tall guy, a lot of motion. George just plods straight in, as Schultz had done in this fight with
George has landed 5 straight left hands.
There's a good left hand by Schultz, but you can see that George is beginning to shorten the distance between himself and the German.
So far, the German doesn't show any of the stage fright that we got from the British fighter Hyde when he fought Riddick Bowe.
No, he's not hyperventilating.
Hard left hand by Foreman.
Uppercut by Schultz.
Good jab by Foreman. Hard left hand by Schultz, and he takes a left hand in return. Foreman's power beginning to come to the fore here in round number 2.
Come on, get him out of there.
biggest mystery of the fight. What kind of a punch can Axel Schultz take?
Well, again, the way he holds his hands, if I was George, I'd be going for the body. I mean, you can't really miss him in the body. He keeps those hands very high. Nice counter by Schultz.
Oh, get it out.
Schultz holding his own in most of the early exchanges with Foreman.
Out of there. Come on, work out of there. Work out.
Hard left hand. And Schultz comes back with a left of his own over the top. Foreman beginning to feint before throwing. Right hand connected underneath for Foreman.
George did what he wanted to do in that round.
At the end of the first round in Frankfurt-Oder, they were cheering, and you have another live look at the crowd there, 5:39 in the morning, watching their man Axel Schultz trying for the heavyweight title.
Be very calm. You have to move in and out. Are you sure that you're okay? Yes. You have to be careful. Yes. Yeah, be very careful. Calm. Keep on fighting like that. Don't go too much to the left. Okay, go on.
In close in that round, George did land one very nice uppercut right there. It wasn't flush, but it certainly gave a warning to Schultz, who now is beginning to breathe out of his mouth and maybe overtaken by the event. Let's see how he responds here.
The one thing I noticed, Larry, when Foreman landed that uppercut, Schultz countered right back with a right hand, and it was a pretty good uppercut. Again, we said he had a good chin. He's never been on the deck.
He just saw the standard Schultz combination, right hand lead, left hook up top. And it landed, but didn't do any damage to George Foreman. What about George's defensive capabilities, Gil, slow as he is?
Well, you know, he does fall for feints now, and he gets himself a little confused in it. But he's such a big guy with those big arms that it's hard to hit him with a solid shot. Look how wide open he was then when he missed that right hand, lumbered forward.
Doesn't seem to peekaboo as much as he did a couple of years ago. Maybe because he needs to take more chances now to get punches in. George chasing with the jab.
He's trying to shorten the distance now. He's always had that good snapping left jab, George. He hasn't lost that.
Right hand lead lands for Schultz over the top. Remember, as Gil has told you, he uses that punch much the way other fighters would try to use the left jab.
And there's one of those debilitating right hands to the body by George Foreman. They take their toll in the later rounds. Ask Michael Moore.
George blocking again with his arms and his gloves up top. Pawing with the left hand and then declining to throw the right. Schultz comes back, trying to counter with his own left.
I think one of the mistakes they're making in Schultz's corner is telling him to be careful. I think that's the worst thing you can do with George when you start to respect him too much. When George throws a punch or misses a punch, you have to be ready to counter, not try to hide and get out of the way.
Get the hand up back. Don't hold the head. Don't hold the head. Come on, George. Get on top.
Schultz able to cuff George with a looping left as he stepped away. There's another looping left. And again, Cortez telling Schultz not to hold Foreman behind the head. This is the German crowd here that is chanting and making the raucous noises that punctuate the end of each round.
Axel, I don't want you on that head, all right? There's no need for that, right?
Very nice. Ain't nothing there. Everything's fine.
You want this here? You want this here?
Beautiful. No, we don't want that. Everything's fine. Great. Once you got the jab going, everything goes.
Yeah, go on like that. Be calm, be calm. Everything is fine. Come on, take your time. Be calm. Be calm, I'm telling you. You have to go to him. But try to move out. Okay.
Manfred Wilkie, the trainer, is saying be calm so often. Gil, I wonder if he sees that his fighter is showing a tendency to be anything but calm.
Well, he's becoming another Herbie Hyde. You can see he's not relaxed in the corner. He's breathing heavy in the corner. There's a good right hand laid again by Axel Schultz.
And by far the quickest right hand that Schultz has been able to throw.
But they were giving him good advice. He has to calm himself down because that can tire you out as much as anything. George looked like a dancing bear in there. In that exchange.
Right hand lands for Axel Schultz, and then another right hand over the top as he steps away. Those straight right hands are doing the work that Schultz wants them to do for the moment. Now inside with a chance to do damage. Foreman tries the uppercut.
Work out of there, guys. Work out.
And Schultz ties him up and steps away.
Again, you see Schultz keeping those hands good and high, not giving much of a target to George outside of the body. There's where George should be banging, and that's what he's doing now.
Schultz quick enough in that last exchange to beat Foreman to the punch.
And look at those hands of Schultz when Foreman gets there, and there they go up again. Keeps his hands very, very high.
Schultz doing a good job of taking advantage of his opportunities inside when Foreman steps in to shorten the distance.
Well, Larry had mentioned that these German athletes are usually very intelligent, and Schultz is being very intelligent in the ring.
And Foreman has heard your advice about going to the body, Gil. Foreman landed a hard right hand to the body inside. Schultz continues to move and jab and try to make the fight in the way that Tommy Morrison and Evander Holyfield did against the slower George Foreman.
Work out of there. Work out of there.
George does fall for feints, and that's what Schultz is doing now. Another right hand by Schultz. And 2 more snapping jabs.
And there's a cut on Schultz's brow when they came in at close quarters.
Yeah, well above the eye. Well, cut way up on Schultz's forehead.
But you know, scalp cuts can bleed profusely, but they're not dangerous at all.
And this one isn't bleeding all that badly for the moment. Axel Schultz having an excellent round 4, Gil. He's got to be earning some respect here now.
Stay calm, boys. Stay calm.
In Schultz's corner, they have one of the best cut men in the business, in Denny Mancini from London, England. Very experienced guy.
Yeah.
There's Denny.
Be calm, nicely.
Small cut.
Okay, breathe in. Breathe in.
Foreman standing between rounds, as has been his custom in his comeback career. He had brought a 3-foot stool with the idea of using it between rounds, but Angelo Dundee, the situational trainer who comes in for big fights, has elected not to bring the stool into the ring.
You can see how vulnerable George would be to a really good boxer. And that's why he's picked this opponent, because he doesn't have a reputation as a good boxer. Harold, quickly your score through the first 4 rounds.
Larry, I've got it 39-37, 3 rounds to 1, Axel Schultz. I think he's getting in good shots and getting out, but the question is can Axel Schultz, in the eyes of the judges, win the heavyweight championship of the world by running away? And he is running away from George, no question.
Somebody had to be on the end of that arm, Harold. It didn't look like he was running away when he landed that right hand.
He's throwing a lot of better punches than most of us expected might be the case based on what we've seen on tape.
You think they sent to stop the tapes, Jim? Because he certainly doesn't look like the same fighter I watched on tape.
Doesn't look like the guy who fought Akinwande, and the crowd is lifting Schultz up now as he tries to keep bringing it to Big George in round 5. Another good combination for the German. And now Foreman lands a right hand, but poses and watches his work rather than to go in behind it.
George knew he landed that right hand, though. Got that look in his eye. But he's just being outsped by Axel Schultz up to this point, in my opinion.
Schultz with a good fight plan and executing it well to this point. Hard right hand by Axel Schultz.
And another. Again, I was before the fight, I had mentioned that might be the punch that George had to worry about, and I was worried about George getting cut or maybe that eye closing from those right hands, and he's been hit with quite a few of them.
Wait, hold on a sec. Get out. Come on. Let's go. Punch her there.
Axel Schultz's right hand leads, doing damage to George Foreman, at least on the scorecards. Remember, of course, Michael Moorer, in the eyes of most ringside observers, won the first 9 rounds against Foreman, and then was gone in the 10th.
Well, we mentioned that Schultz takes a good rap. Foreman hit him with one of his best right hands, and he punched right back.
But that right hand did stop him in his tracks and buckle him a bit. And you wonder if Schultz isn't getting a little braver than he should be here.
His mouth is wide open now, Larry. But again, he's certainly inflicting a lot of punishment on George Foreman.
But the question may become not how well can he take one punch at a time, but how many of them can he handle over the course of the fight?
I disagree. I don't think George is taking much punishment at all.
I was talking about Schultz, Larry.
I meant I was disagreeing with Gil. I'm sorry.
All righty.
Come on, Charlie, you can do it from outside. Stand back, Charlie. Stand back. Stand back.
All right.
Good. Put my leg down.
Give me the water.
Put my leg down. My trunks.
There's that right hand that stopped Schultz momentarily in his tracks, but he did come fighting right back, to his credit. He may not be a gifted or talented fighter, but he's a fighter.
Game fighter, and he takes a heck of a punch.
Seconds out.
And he's got good competitive spirit.
And he's in the fight as round 6 begins.
No question about it in my mind.
I see you've got him winning 4 of the first 5 rounds, Gil.
I certainly do. And I took a peek at Harold Letterman's scorecard. He has it the same way.
But now George is beginning to land in combination. Earlier it was 1 punch at a time.
And I'm watching another fight because I have George ahead 4 rounds to 1.
Wonderful thing about prize fighting, purely subjective.
Get him out of there. Come on, get him out. Let's go, guys. Come on, get him out clean. Come on.
shot from Foreman. Sherman's thought it was low.
George has been landing some stiff jabs in this round.
Slowly, almost imperceptibly, George is stepping up the tempo, Gil, much in the way he did gradually over the course of the Moorer fight.
Come on, get him up. Come on, guys, come on, get him up.
George is landing those debilitating body punches again. They don't look like much, but they sure add up in the course of a fight.
Come on, get him out of there, come on. Let's go.
Despite all expectations of a false account or mismatch, it has been, up to this point, a much better than expected heavyweight championship fight.
Better than I expected from what I saw on the tapes.
Foreman wide with that right hand. Axel Schultz lands his right hand over the top.
Spit bucket. Okay. Yeah. Up in your mouth wide. Right. You're hurting him with those body shots. Real nice.
Here's another example of Schultz coming back from a stiff right that he caught and jumping right on George's face. He's a competitive athlete, if not a polished prize fighter. Perhaps that's all he has to be tonight, Gil.
Well, right now it's a very, very close fight, and he's the younger of the two.
Axel Schultz, the last Olympic hopeful heavyweight product of the East German sports machine prior to the dismantling of socialism in Eastern Europe. Fighting against the man who won the Olympic gold medal as a super heavyweight 27 years ago in 1968. Schultz's trainer, Manfred Walke, won a gold medal in Mexico City in the welterweight class on the same day that Foreman won his gold medal as a super heavyweight and gave us the indelible image of the big Job Corps recruit from Houston dancing around the ring with American flags in both hands.
Did Walke dance around the ring with German flags, Jim?
Unknown.
Good uppercut by George Foreman on the inside.
Come on, touch out of there. Come on, your hands are free.
But apparently Schultz has earned that reputation for having a chin of iron. He's never been on a deck, and he's been hit with some pretty good punches, and he hasn't shown me any wobble as yet.
And if he manages to go the distance, he brings up the question, is it still possible for George to win a decision in a fight like this?
Wake up. Get him out of there. Come on, your hands are free, guys. Your hands are free. Work him out. Work him out. Come on.
thudding left jab by Foreman. Beginning to put more snap in the jab.
Schultz landed a right hand, and George came back with a left jab that was harder than Schultz's right hand.
Major league swelling over the left eye of Foreman, Gil.
Well, we had mentioned that he had to look out for that Jim before the fight.
Hold on.
If you look over the left eyebrow of Foreman, you'll see a mouse big enough to potentially burst and shower the eye with blood.
Okay. You okay? All right, time in. Let's go, George. Keep him up, George.
Warning to Foreman for low blows. Schultz slowing down just a little bit now. Last minute of round 7.
Free, guys. All right, break out clean. Step back.
And finally, Foreman finished an exchange in the center of the ring.
Solid right hand lead by Schultz again on that swelling left eye of George Foreman.
If he manages to bring the blood, it could get very interesting. Another hard right hand by Schultz inside. And another. Axel Schultz making his mark on his first trip to the United States.
Sure. He's probably for sure. I'll get it.
Not good, either.
No. Come here. I'll get it. Okay. Watch this guy's head. Yeah, well, look. One lower it? No. Break him up when he comes in. That's when he's face butting you.
Well, few observers at ringside would have thought that this would go to the 8th round, but it's a very interesting confrontation now. As George Foreman, with a mouse and heavy swelling above his left eye, continues to try to bear in on an Axel Schultz who has been surprisingly effective, but has blood in his own brow.
That isn't a dangerous cut at all, but if George is cut bust open, that's going to really burst.
We saw Angelo Dundee using the inswell on it between rounds, Gil.
Well, then, you know, again, that's why I think a fighter should sit down on a stool so you can really administer to him properly. Angelo has to reach way up. You don't get the same pressure that you would get if he was sitting down.
Hard left hand inside, coming up and under Foreman.
But you see Schultz come right back. He's a competitor. He knows he's fighting for the World Championship.
And he's still taking these shots pretty well, isn't he?
Excellent. Good chin.
Break out. Come on, get those arms out. I don't want any wrestling in here, guys. Come on.
Foreman beginning to try to duck away from those right-hand leads. He's ducking under them and robbing himself of the chance to counter.
George looks very, very awkward at the moment in there. Look at those jabs landing. Good, solid jabs by Schultz.
And as Schultz recognizes that George is going to try to duck the right-hand leads, he switches to the jab and lands both of them flush.
Beautiful move by Schultz that time, and again slipped that right-hand lead in.
You get the sense that Axel Schultz gains confidence with each passing minute here.
No question. He doesn't realize that he's fighting George Foreman. Nothing is overawing him anymore. He's just in there in a fight, and he's fighting. Now, that was a little bit of that Tommy Morrison movement that I didn't think he could do, moving that head from side to side, and George couldn't get off. And there he is with another 1-2. again by Schultz. And he just slides over to the right, and George can't find him.
Come on, get him on.
And round 8 comes to a close. And you see the swelling above George Foreman's left eye.
Come here, son. Guy's butting you. You got to watch him coming in. Bury him with body shots when he comes in. Okay?
Angelo's trying to work on that swelling, but again, you see, he didn't keep that end swell on very long, and he's mentioning it. Schultz is butting George, but I think it's those right-hand leads.
Starting to go. The guy's jumping in on you.
Harold, 8 rounds, 2/3 of the way through this fight. Give us your score.
Larry, I've got it 6 rounds to 2, 78-74, Axel Schultz. Like Gil says, Axel's just out fighting him. I mean, he gets in, he gets off that right hand, and he gets out. And he's just out banging George, landing the cleaner, harder shots, and getting away from George's big shots. I only give George 2 rounds.
Well, I've got 1 round even. I have it 5-2 for Schultz at this point. So George would really have to win the last 4 rounds to eke out a decision.
Larry, you still have Foreman ahead in the fight?
I'm still watching a different fight. I think George dominates most of the rounds, and that Schultz lands a couple of flurries, but I think George wins 2.5 minutes of each round. So I've got him ahead 6 rounds to 2. Probably,
Come on, get him out of there, come on.
I should be watching this from Houston, maybe, his hometown.
The requisite HBO difference of opinion as we go into the closing rounds. Foreman stalking a knockout just as he did at this stage of the fight against Moore. Axel Schultz trying to stay with his game plan and continue to bank on his rising confidence, his tenacity, a little bit of creativity, and a ton of guts. Right hand for Schultz over the top. Foreman came back to the body with his own right. Foreman hooking to the body with that left hand. They stand there at close quarters.
Schultz flurried out with a combination again. They were even up until that combination. Uppercut by George. Maybe a little snap out of George's punch at this stage of the fight. And again, another combination by Schultz.
Step back, step back.
There's that right hand over the top again. And again.
Right on the target, which is Foreman's swelling left eye. And you can see Schultz going for it now.
Schultz now is starting to breathe very, very heavily from his mouth.
Come on, get him out of there, come on.
Which is a sign that he's tired.
Come on. Break out, clean, break out, clean.
Gentlemen, I mentioned at the beginning of the evening that there are 4 men in the heavyweight division doing business as champion of the world, and that Foreman's is the linear title. Is it even conceivable that by the end of the evening your 4 heavyweight champions might be a still little-known Oliver McCall, a Bruce Seldon who was knocked out in the first round by Riddick Bowe, an ostracized and seemingly declining Bowe, and a virtually unknown Axel Schultz of Germany?
Big right hand by Schultz. Big right hand. George Foreman walked right into that punch.
Yeah, it is conceivable, Jim.
And George is slowing down as Schultz is picking up steam with 3 rounds yet to go.
Punch out of there, come on, your hands are free, punch out of there.
There's Schultz again with another combination. And then he knows enough to move away, get himself set again.
Theater of the unexpected in Las Vegas, and in Germany they're going wild.
Und tief atmen, Jungs, sehr gut.
Breathe, breathe.
Axel, du hast alles drin.
Axel, it's
Wir stehen
okay.
alle hinter dir hier.
We are all behind you. Yeah, we are all behind you. You see, everybody's behind you.
Ruhig nach rechts rüber treten, kannst du machen.
And move to the right.
Er kriegt ihn nervös, ja. Rechts rüber treten.
Go to the right.
Und tief
Axel, listen.
Watch Schultz in action here at the end of the round where he lands a quick right hand. Not on the chin, but it does score points, and it is discombobulating George, and George knows he's in a fight now.
All right, give me a clean round.
George has given us a lot of surprises. You have to wonder at this point if this is going to be the ultimate surprise.
And there was that quick right hand lead again. This is going to have to be a bigger miracle right now, I think, than the one against Michael Moorer.
Because he's not getting the same chances against Schultz that he got against Moorer. Now, George was able to start Moorer toward defeat in the 10th with some haymaker left hooks. He has not landed one of those effective left hooks in this entire bout, Gil.
And the meanwhile, Schultz is just so quick. He's moving away, but when he stops, there he just feinted George. George fell for the feint. Now Foreman feints back, but he keeps that right hand lead going time after time.
In 77 fights, George Foreman has only been passed this 10th round 3 times. Jimmy Young, Evander Holyfield, Tommy Morrison, and you're right, he lost all 3 of those fights.
And George just complained, there's another right hand by Schultz. And George complained to Joe Cortez about something. I don't know what it was.
Well, that left eye is starting to close now, Gil. I'm not sure that his vision isn't slightly impaired at this point.
His vision has to be impaired, and that's very dangerous against a guy with a quick right hand, as Schultz has. And Schultz now is taking chances. He's right there with George, punching with him.
Well, that could be dangerous. Moorer started to take chances, too.
Well, but this guy's a little different guy than Michael Moorer. Moorer had a history of being on the deck quite a few times in fights, but
this guy's never been down.
Never been down. Look at that right hand to the chin, right hand underneath. Well, again, we mentioned that fighters can go along, and all of a sudden one day they walk up those steps, and they're not the same fighter any longer. And George is showing his age a little bit tonight against a younger, faster guy.
3 judges, 2 from Las Vegas, 1 from Carson City, none from continental Europe, none from Germany.
Well, they have to score the fight the way they're seeing it. Look at Schultz with that right hand, working it overtime. He's really
again holding his own in the exchange, Gil.
Very confident right at the moment.
He believes right now.
And he's a strong guy. George is not able to push him back with all of that weight and strength that he has. You see Schultz right there with him.
I remember in Tokyo when we began to rehearse for the possibility of calling James Buster Douglas the heavyweight champion of the world. Axel Schultz. Here they are in Frankfurt Oder. Physicians from the Nevada State Athletic Commission talking to Angelo Dundee and George Foreman. As you look at these punch stat numbers that show you 2 different fights. Foreman in the first 5 rounds more effective. Schultz dominating the second 5 rounds. Only referee Joe Cortez is empowered to stop this fight. He can confer with Nevada physicians if he chooses to. Foreman into the 11th round for the 4th time in his career. Again, Young, Holyfield, Morrison, the other 3 fights that went this far, he lost them all.
You can see that the strength of Schultz. George is trying to mug him, push him back, and the guy won't let him. But George is really clubbing now on the inside, landing some good solid punches.
Between rounds, Manfred Wolke told his fighter Axel Schultz, "You're the boss, you're the boss, this is all yours."
George is loose now, though. He knows what he has to do. There's no question about that, but can he do it?
Whatever Foreman's got, look for him to let it all hang out in these last 2 rounds.
Well, that's what he's doing right now. And Schultz is starting to show little signs of wear and tear. It's got to be a tired man pushing that big guy around.
46 years old. Is he fighting on borrowed time, or is there one more miracle left?
This is George's best round up to this point.
He's taken over.
Come on, get him out of there. Come on.
Schultz beginning to grab, brawl, push, anything to get Foreman off of him.
What Schultz should be doing now is moving to his right, as his trainer told him to do. But he's standing there punching with George.
And Foreman got in a hard right hand underneath.
But in the meanwhile, George expended a lot of energy in those first 2 minutes. Look for Schultz to make a little bit of a comeback now.
Break out, come on, break out.
Crowd chanting USA, trying to bring back the Olympian in George.
And George is landing the best punches he's landed in this fight. I think he has Schultz in a little trouble.
I think he's got him going right now, Gil. 45 seconds left for the greatest finisher in the history of the heavyweight division.
But this Schultz is a tough guy, competitor.
Come on.
1 round to go after this one. But you wonder if this is George's best chance.
Big right hand on the chin by Schultz again as George walked in.
Fighting back, Axel Schultz.
Break out. Let's go, come on. Come on, give me 10 rounds. Come on, man, let me hold that height, man. Hold that height.
1 round to go.
Give it all. Let it all hang out, baby. Okay?
That's the last. It's the last round. You have to move. Move.
Come on.
Come on.
That's it. Come. From the side. Charlie.
Keep away. Come on, keep away.
And Schultz started the round off. Right hand lead again, right on that eye.
He makes that statement as often as he can.
But Schultz, they told him to stay away, but he wants to fight.
Harold Letterman, quickly your score through 11 rounds.
Larry, 107, 102, 8 rounds to 3. Axel Schultz, I think the kid outfought him. I think he stood there, he banged with George, landed the cleaner, harder shots. I think he's winning the fight.
Well, we're going to have to see if Las Vegas judges will give Schultz the fight. I have George winning the fight. I guess maybe I've been due for a bad one, Harold. You and I have disagreed on some others.
Usually I agree with you, Larry. This time I agree with Harold. I have it 1 round closer.
Foreman's eye totally closed now.
But again, I have Schultz winning the fight.
Axel Schultz getting a lot of free shots with the right hand. There's a 20-year age difference and a difference in experience and reputation which is simply too vast to describe. George Foreman in his 78th fight, a heavyweight legend against a man who was almost universally regarded as undeserving of this title shot. But from moment one, Axel Schultz has been unafraid, and in many ways, he has controlled the fight throughout.
George is trying, but he just can't do it. He can't pull that trigger. We mentioned fighters go up the steps, and all of a sudden, something's missing, and something's missing with George tonight.
A chance for Germany to celebrate its first heavyweight championship in more than 60 years. If the judges see it the way Gil Clancy and Harold Letterman have told you they see it, with Axel Schultz in control. 50 seconds left for Foreman to pull out a miracle. The linear heavyweight championship that goes back through Tyson, Holmes, Ali, all the way to John L. Sullivan, the one being contested here.
Another right hand by Schultz. Schultz is a fighter. No question about that.
They're on their feet in Vegas, and they're about to watch a moment of potential boxing history. And in a minute, you'll see the scene in Frankfurt Oder where the celebration has already begun. It's going to be up to the judges.
And George did not go back to his corner as though he felt he was still the heavyweight champion.
Well, listening to Michael Buffer read this decision is going to be a dramatic moment in my life.
That's Frankfurt Oder, Germany, guys. A city of 85,000 people just on the Polish border. It's the hometown of 26-year-old Axel Schultz, who in a moment may add his name to those of Oliver McCall, Bruce Seldon, and Riddick Bowe. Certainly one of the most unlikely collections of heavyweight champions in the turbulent recent history of the division. Letterman, your final scorecard.
Jim, 117, 111, 9 rounds to 3, Axel Schultz. I thought he closed it beautifully. I mean, he outfought him, whacked him with right hands, won that 12th round. I think he put an exclamation point on a fight in that 12th round. He fought in the 12th round the way he fought most of the fight, stayed inside with George and banged on him. I mean, I thought he fought a nice fight, took George's best shots. I think he deserves it.
And Gil Clancy, you likewise have Schultz winning the fight.
I have him a little closer than Harold. I have him 4 points ahead.
Larry Merchant, as you know, believes that Foreman was controlling enough to win. Larry's already gone into the ring, and now a moment of drama. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer to find out who's the heavyweight champ.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, we go to the scorecards. Schultz Jampa scores the bout 114, 114. He has it even. Jerry Roth scores the bout 115 to 113. Keith McDonald scores it 115 to 113 for the winner by majority decision, and still heavyweight champion of the world, Big George Foreman.
Well, you can see them throwing stuff at the screen in Germany. There's considerable disbelief, particularly along press row here, where some of the most famous names in American boxing writing are holding thumbs down right now on what they think was a bad decision. But George Foreman has retained the heavyweight championship, and Larry Merchant, as it turns out, the judges agreed with you. Let's go to Larry.
Okay, George, were you in any way surprised by the decision?
You know what happened? I told everybody, when you fight Germans, you're going to have to fight every round. They're not going to just give you a fight. A lot of people were surprised, but I knew this guy would be tough. But I started to fight back. I stopped waiting around for a knockout and started building up points. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm always surprised when somebody gives me a decision against anybody. They don't seem to like to give me decisions.
Well, perhaps some people will think they gave you a decision tonight. Was he a different fighter than the one you expected?
Not at all. He was the same fight. He took a lot of punishment. I don't know where he take those punches from, but J.D. Foreman at home told me to take this fight.
In all the fights,
you got your share, Daddy.
In all the fights we had seen, he had been an aggressor. Tonight he tried to go to school on some of the fighters who fought you, like Tommy Morrison.
Yeah,
was that a surprise?
He ran. You don't give fighters the championship for running, man.
Do you think that was the difference, particularly in the early rounds, that he didn't start engaging you seriously until the second half of the fight?
Yeah, he started engaging, but not enough. He would still run after he'd do anything. He'd run, and I'd build up my points with jabbing.
Did you at any time hurt him?
Oh, too many times. That's why he was able to run so effectively. He had to run. But, you know, the guy was a great fighter. He wasn't in the 6-to-1 odds. You can believe that. The guy had a great fight. If I had known that he would hang in like that, I would have just started an aggressive building up points system earlier. But I was trying for a knockout until about the 7th round.
Angelo Dundee, going out to the last round, said, you got to let it hang all out, George. Did you know that round could decide the fight?
That's true, and I went out there and just dug it in. I hit him 3 times, he hit me 1. I hit him 3 more times, he hit me another. So I won the point system.
Did you said before the fight that it was hard getting back to the top of the mountain. You weren't sure if you could push yourself to stay on top of the mountain. Was it harder?
You know, it's a hard thing for me to go out there and just be champion. I mean, I can't really get psyched up to win. I jab a guy and he runs from me. I said, so what? You can't do anything. But when you're a challenger, you go out there and meet the challenger, always climbing the hill. So it's a little more difficult being a champion for me.
Do you think, based on this fight, that people are going to say they still want to see you fight Mike Tyson?
Hey, I'm the heavyweight champ of the world. What you doing asking questions like that?
You've been goading Mike. You've been goading him, challenging him all week.
Mike Tyson wouldn't have given me a hard fight like that because he wouldn't have run like that fella ran. That fella ran. Mike Tyson's too brave. If he'd stand up there and go toe-to-toe, one of us would hit the ground. Wouldn't be but 2 licks past.